Good morning. My name is serve as the Board of Social Worker Examiners. I'd like to start with a roll call. Chair Brumley,
Present.
Miss Andrade. She indicated she would arrive late. Mr. Bernal, Miss Della Pena.
Present.
Thank you. Mr. Marsden.
Present.
Thank you. Miss Pryor.
Present.
Thank you. Miss Swartz.
Present.
Thank you. Miss Tatum indicated she cannot attend. And Mr. Trevino.
Present.
We welcome Mr. Trevino, board member, recently appointed by the governor.
Thank you.
I'll turn it over to Chair Brumley. And I would ask board members to identify yourselves before speaking, especially those here on the panel, because it's difficult in the broadcast image to see who's speaking. And with that, Chair Brumley.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Welcome, everybody, to today's meeting of the Texas State Board of Social Worker Examiners. We have 3 members of the public present with us today, and we will begin the meeting by taking public comment. So, Sarah, do you want to do the folks here first or the folks online first?
Yeah, so we'll do public comment first with those that are attending. Well, these, I've got Kelly and Mr. McGuire. They're appellants, but if you have public comment in addition to your appeal, you're welcome to speak at public comment. If you're here for appeal, when we get to that agenda item number 6, we will call you then. So you have that opportunity to you as well. For those who are attending by computer, if you would use the raise hand feature in the bottom navigation bar of your Zoom screen to indicate that you would like to make public comment. You will then ask to unmute and give your public comment. Once all individuals who have raised their hands have had an opportunity to speak, we will then call on those who are attending by telephone. And you'll be asked to unmute. Generally, you can use *6 on your phone to unmute. Just note that public comment is not intended for a discussion or a question and answer session with the board. And additionally, when making public comment, please identify yourself and whether you are speaking individual on behalf of an organization that you represent. Please limit your public comment to 3 minutes unless otherwise directed by the presiding officer. And as always, in lieu of public comment, we always accept written public comment either through our Contact Us webpage or through the link that appears on the agenda. I did include 3 individuals' public comment in the board meeting materials. So those are not read aloud, but the board members may instruct staff regarding those comments or ask for them to be on a future agenda, either during this meeting or subsequent to this meeting, however they prefer to communicate that to me. Without further ado, would any of you like to give public comment? Okay, thank you. I will turn to the attendees. And again, if you're attending by Zoom, use the raised hand feature that's in the lower navigation bar of your screen. I see no raised hands. And I see no one attending by telephone, so I believe that concludes public comment.
Okay. So, thank you, Sarah. All right, that takes us to agenda item number 4, reports on general matters. So the first one is a report from the board chair. I'd just like to report that I don't know the exact number, but I believe the number of licensed social workers in Texas now exceeds 35,000.
Yes.
Okay, and we continue to grow. We do not have any indication yet of having the I'm forgot the word now. The compact. Couldn't think of the compact. That could come up again in the next legislative session. So anyone interested in that, I would encourage you to do your due diligence and reach out to those involved that could support that or not if you're so inclined. So beyond that, I don't have anything else much to report. So I will go to B, board delegates to BHEC. That would
Before
be.
we move
Yes,
on,
go ahead, Sarah.
under the board chair report, it includes the lawsuit that's pending against the Social Work Board. Oral arguments were heard by the 15th Court of Appeals on December 18th.
Mm-hmm.
No real
No
new
information from
information
that
to
yet,
show, just that the lawsuit is progressing.
Okay, and for those that are first time listening, there is a rule and statute that indicates that if you have a criminal charge, certain aspects of a criminal charge, that we shall not license you. And that's what this lawsuit is related to, is that issue. Okay. Report from the board's delegates to BHEC. That would be myself and Ms. Pryor. Ms. Pryor, do you have anything that you would like to report out on the BHEC meeting as the public member? Nothing?
No.
Okay. I just will report that the BHEC meeting will be held next month, the
February
17th. I think it's February 17th, the Tuesday. And other than that, move on to agenda item C, report out from administrator and other staff.
So in your packet, I've included a report for the September 29th leadership listening. Staff does these online listening hours to allow the public and stakeholders to address their concerns with executive staff periodically every month or so. Also, reporting to the board on October 16th, I presented a virtual session at the NASW Texas conference. It was a virtual rather than in-person conference this year. You have in your report, report about my session and the evaluations for that, report about the attendees. Would bring to your attention, the report indicates 108 visited this board exhibit table, which I manned for the conference. But I only interacted with a handful of those. There was a gaming type of feature in the virtual conference, and so I think they tagged the table and visited.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually have an exchange. I had an exchange with about maybe a dozen people or so. Okay. And then a report indicated that 238 live and on-demand attendees were in on the session. So that they either attended the session when I gave it, or they viewed it later at their leisure, which was kind of a nice feature for the virtual. 2 U1 are usually scheduled at the same time,
right.
So that was kind of nice that they could do that. The next conference for Texas NASW is November 5th through the 2026, and it's their 50th anniversary. I've already submitted a session proposal for a board update on new rules, and I won't know until June whether that session is accepted, but It's already been submitted.
And this one will be a face-to-face conference in Galveston, I believe.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Thank you for that, Sarah.
On October 29th and the 10th, the council held CE broker demonstrations by webinar. We also have on our webpage, and I'm going to share that information on how to do your CE broker account as of January 1st. All licensees must have a CE broker account in which to report their continuing education. So from our homepage, on the side for renewals and continuing education, and scroll down a bit to the large bar that says continuing education reporting. If you've not made an account yet or haven't begun to report your CEs via CE Broker, then there's frequently asked questions. There's copies of the different videos of the different webinars that we've given for informational sessions, as well as transcripts for those to help you navigate getting started in that new online reporting. And CE Broker, once you're in the program, it has a help desk. So if you have any problems while you're in it, you can contact CE Broker for that. And please, starting January 1, you cannot renew your license if you've not reported to CE Broker your continuing education. So just wanted to make sure that that information gets out there to everyone, so their renewal doesn't hit a snag.
And Sarah, that is inclusive of folks whose license must be renewed this month.
Yes.
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 That started January 1. So if your renewal is January 31, 2026, you need to enter your stuff into CE Broker this time. Yes.
Congratulations, you will be a trendsetter.
Yes. Yes.
You'll get on it quickly.
And for those of you who haven't done it yet, don't feel bad because I haven't done it either. So I'm going to get in there and get my stuff put in though. So, all right. Anything further, Sarah?
Yes, we've had new rules came into effect in November, and again in the page you can click the quick button to statutes and rules, and scroll down a little bit to our newly updated consolidated rule book for social work. You can see here the date that it's updated. So if you've downloaded a copy previously, you might want to check and make sure that you are using the most up-to-date. Also wanted to make sure that everyone knows I'm clicking on the quick link in the gray bar beneath the blue buttons on rulemaking at the council. And this page tells you about the rulemaking process, but also tells you recently adopted rules and also where you can post your comments about a proposed rule change. There's no open comments now for social work. That just closed on January 4th, which the board will today. But if you have comments about rules that impact your license in chapters 881 to 884 about the behavior that's issued by the behavioral health executive links. In the board packet is information about the fiscal year 2026 first quarter performance measures that will be presented to the council. I've also included in the board packet a report on the December 8th leadership listening and the December 18th ketamine assisted therapy town hall. That's on agenda item number 11 to be discussed later at this meeting. And we've sent out there will be another leadership listening on January 16th. So if you haven't signed up for email updates and didn't get that notice, it's here, quick link to that. Also in the quick links, I want to bring out to your attention the agency news. In December, Director Spink sent out an email update asking people to give their customer service, to participate in the customer service and strategic planning survey. So you can click a link, that link there. Again, that's on the agency news page. Also, Director Spink sent an email update on the workforce survey data, and there's a quick link there in the gray bar where you can participate in the 2026-2027 survey about our workforce here in Texas. So those were just some of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention that we call that you can find those resources then on our website.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. That moves us to 4D. So D1 is ethics, and I chair that. We did in December. We had think a couple days of ISCs that I sat through with the legal staff and the investigation team, and Mr. Marsden participated in that with us to see about what's going on in these ISCs. Other than that, we don't have anything officially of the ethics committee to report out. So the licensing standards committee, that would be Ms. De La Pena. Do you have anything to report, Ms. De La Pena?
No. We were very busy, but we got it done, and was happy that Mr. Trevino was on that committee as well.
Professional development and standards, our professional development committee is Mr. Trevino.
On behalf of the professional development committee, align with the rules that became effective November 9th, a written report concerning those specific changes are for the board, are in the agenda for the board to review.
Okay.
Sarah may also answer any questions about the report in item 7.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, it is.
it is.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, and for
Could
y'all hear him
Trevino
talking
okay?
out there? Yeah, they could. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all. All right. And then report from the rules is Miss Andrade, and she's not able to attend today. So anything on
can-
rules, Sarah?
I can report that the Rules Committee met on reviewed a comment from NASW Texas, which is in your board packet and will be is listed under agenda item, so that can be talked about there. Yeah, I think that's enough to report at this time.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Moving on to agenda item number 5, board discussion and possible action to reelect or replace public member delegate to the Texas Behavioral Health Executive Council per the occupations code and all the code numbers there. So agenda item number 5, as we move forward with that, currently Ms. Pryor serves as the public member to the Behavioral Health Executive Council. Is to look at that to see if anyone else would be interested, if Ms. Pryor is not interested in continuing, or if she is. Ms. Bean in that position? Oh, shoot, there you went.
I'm sorry, my internet connection is a little wishy-washy, and so
Okay.
you broke up a little bit. Were you asking for my
So
My
we're on,
input?
agenda item number 5, which is to either
Yes.
reelect or reelect you to the executive council or replace you. Are you willing to remain in that position was my question.
Okay, I am willing to remain. I will defer if someone else wants to take that, but I am willing to continue to serve.
Okay. Well, I'd entertain the other public member is not present today.
Ms. De La Pena is a public member.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
it's
I forget.
I'm getting the same problem when you speak. I don't know if anybody else, but
Yes, I am too with the sound.
Yeah.
It keeps
So I
cutting in
think
and out.
I think it's y'all, not your internet connection,
All
Quita.
right. Well, I'm going to
Okay.
I'll get a different microphone.
Do you want to try this one?
All right. I'm going to try this one. Is that any better?
Yeah, we
Can
can
y'all hear
hear
me?
you.
Jennifer, can you hear me okay?
And right now, it's kind of been coming in and out sporadically, so we'll see if it's better as we
Okay.
continue.
Is it only Chair Bromley or is it any of us?
It happened with
It's
all of
any-
you.
It's
All of
any
you.
of you.
All of you.
Okay.
System issue.
Okay. Well, I'll try to talk directly into the microphone. So, yeah. Ms. De La Pena, what we were doing is Miss Pryor, as the public member, has served as the representative to the executive council, and to remain unless you would like to take opportunity to do that.
No, she can take it. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
trying to really
All
hear because you cut it and out, and but
Yeah, it's cutting
yeah.
in and out.
right. Okay. All right. So this is something that we do vote on.
Motion, yes.
So I'll need a motion for Ms. Pryor to remain as the public member to the Executive Council.
Given that Ms. Pryor has expressed interest in remaining, I motion.
So I have a motion for Mr. Trevino. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Have a second from Mr. Marsden. All those in favor, signify by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Motion does carry. So, okay. Move to agenda item number 6, licensing matters. Board review and possible action on appeal of license applicant Hogard, Teresa Kelly, Marjorie Landron, and Jimmy McGuire.
So we do have 2 of the appellants here in person. Looking through the list. I do not see Edward Hoggard. And I do not see Marjorie Landron. So you may wish to take someone who's here first. We have Kelly and Jimmy McGuire here
Okay.
in person.
Well, we'll just go with as they're listed. So, Miss Kelly, if you would like to come up to the front here, just come up, tab on the front of it. If you'll press it and make sure the green light comes on when you start speaking. Yeah, just any one of the 4 there.
And Mr. Chair, if I can just very briefly lay out why
Absolutely.
this is brought forward. So staff issued a denial for this under the rules as adopted. One of them specifically states that if an applicant has 3 or more drug or alcohol related offenses in the past 10 years, it's grounds for the denial. So staff, based on that rule, issued the denial. She can of course appeal to you guys, which she has done. It is not a mandatory denial. So this is not something where like Chapter 108 does not apply.
Right.
So this is something where the board has discretion to either outright deny outright or take the third option of approve with conditions, basically an eligibility order that the board would see as deem appropriate particular. So
Okay.
primarily just on the social work rule 781. 420 number 13 that talks about the 3 or more drug or alcohol related
Within a 10-year time frame.
I believe these were DWIs. is
Okay.
what this was.
Okay. All right. Miss Kelly, go ahead.
First, thank you for.
You want to pull that mic down a little closer to you?
I'm also soft spoken. Is that
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today. I understand the council's responsibility to protect the public and evaluate whether applicants meet the requirements of the Texas Administrative Code. I acknowledge that my criminal history includes the 3 alcohol-related convictions between 2016 and 23, and I consider the to be directly related to the duties and responsibilities of a licensed social worker. What I am asking is that the council consider whether the conduct in that record represents an ongoing issue and risk, or whether it reflects a resolved period in my life and no longer, describes my current functioning. Since my last offense, I've completed incarceration. I remain compliant with probation, and I've maintained lawful behavior. I've completed all required conditions of my probation. I've paid all my fines, and I currently am up for early termination. The request was submitted to the courts on December 10th.
Did you say it was submitted the 10th or approved on the 10th?
Submitted the 10th.
Oh.
The Arizona Innovation Department reached out and extended the offer.
Okay.
I'm currently employed as a crisis counselor within care here in Austin. I work
How long have you been employed there?
since September 4th, 2024.
24. Okay.
I work directly with vulnerable individuals in high-risk situations. The role requires sound judgment, emotional regulation, sobriety, adherence to ethical standards, and close supervision. I actually have one of my supervisors on call with us today who's willing to speak on my behalf. I've performed the role without incident, and my supervisor's letters and presence reflect their assessment and reliability of my fitness for this role. The council's letter notes concern that my history may indicate a risk. What I can offer in response is evidence of stability, insight, and accountability over time, demonstrated in behaviors. I'm not asking the council to disregard my history. I am asking to consider it alongside my demonstrated rehabilitation.
Okay. What are you doing ongoing to maintain your sobriety?
I'm connected with Western Trails. I've completed my 12 steps. I have the support of family members and friends locally. And
Okay.
I connect with my supervisor pretty regularly.
Okay. And you indicated that someone is on Zoom who wants to speak on your behalf?
My direct supervisor at Integral Care.
Is that Miss Allen?
Miss Allen.
Okay. Sarah, can you log her in?
Tiffany Allen, can you speak? Can you unmute?
Yes. Are y'all able to see and hear me? Yeah. So I've worked with Monique since she started at Integral Care. I've been her supervisor for about 6 months. She has always really impressed upon me professionalism, insights, and a willingness to take feedback well. Her commitment to her sobriety has been without question. I will say amongst our team, she is one of the most solid and trustworthy individuals. She can work with anybody. And one of the things that impresses me the most is if she's having a hard day. She's had very difficult life events in this last year and has maintained poise. She also knows when she isn't it, right? She has the ability to reflect that, hey, I might be vulnerable for this population today. And she communicates that well. And so she is somebody that mentors and other staff come to. And she and I have personally talked quite a bit about her journey and her sobriety. I'm going to be honest, I don't think anyone would expect her history to be her history, particularly her recent history, because she has grown so demonstrably. And she commits to some of the hardest populations that we work with. She worked with Sunrise Navigation Center, which supports homeless individuals in Austin. That included going out to encampments. That included working with people who are incredibly vulnerable. She works here with folks experiencing acute psychiatric crises. Y'all, if somebody was going to have a hard day, if they were going to relapse, if they were going to not push through, this is the work that will push you to that point. And she never has shown any suggestion or indication that she isn't capable of doing that work. I've also worked pretty acute crisis situations with her. And she seeks supervision, she has good support, and she handles it with integrity and professionalism. I have absolutely no reservations in recommending her. I will also say, in talking to the other supervisors at PES, the Psychiatric Emergency Services Center here at Integral Care, everyone speaks so highly of her. So do our prescribers. We trust her judgment. We trust her professionalism, and she is so trustworthy with the clients that we serve. And I understand why there are these reservations with candidates. I'm an LPCS in Texas, and I've worked in Texas for about 15 years in community mental health. And so I will say that I understand that. However, she's done what she needs to. She's been incarcerated and taken from that what she needs to. In fact, like I've talked to her before about being able to be a mentor for other women who've been through similar circumstances. She's, knows when she'll be ready to do that. And again, really reflects. But this isn't someone who I think shows a pattern of behavior that will continue. I think this is a situation that has been interrupted. I think she has already engaged in the restoration process. And I think that we do so much to support folks in recovery that we need to support each other when we are making progress too. And that is paramount to our field. So again, absolutely no reservations. None of my the other supervisors actually assume that she's worked for much longer if they don't know who she is. They assume she's worked in crisis for 5 years because she's so mature and professional and capable. But none of us, I think, have any reservations, and our prescribers as well. So I just want you all to know that, and I thank you for giving us the space to speak up on her behalf.
All right. Thank you, Miss Allen.
Miss Allen, for clarity, you began with, you were speaking for Monique, and just for clarity, the up is Teresa Monique.
Yeah, it's Teresa M. Kelly. She goes by Monique, so I apologize.
I just wanted to,
I know
I
in
just
my
wanted it
letter.
to be clear.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
yeah,
for that,
I know in
Sarah.
my letter I reflected her correct name, but yes, her legal name is Teresa. Apologies.
Do any board members, anybody have any questions either for Miss Kelly or Miss Allen?
Ms. Kelly, you mentioned you're working on your 12-step program. Have you considered, or are you working in individual therapy as well?
I have considered it. I haven't found a counselor that I connected with well yet. I've actually had conversations with Tiffany about have referrals and finding a counselor.
All right. Anyone else?
Ms. Kelly, I was also going to ask, first of all, I wanted to tell you that I'm very impressed with your recovery. It sounds like you've worked very hard and you've made incredible progress. That's good. But I also know from having a long history and working in addiction recovery, people typically are moving forward or they're moving backwards, and you can be moving in either direction without having fully relapsed. What kind of things are you actively doing, you, not the people around you, but what kind of things are you actively doing to keep yourself moving forward?
I suppose a lot of what I do to keep moving forward is kind of focused on personal and professional development. I value the work that I do. Enjoy this field. Why partly why this licensure is so important to me, because it allows me that opportunity to continue to grow. I have a very strong commitment to my sobriety. I have no interest in relapsing or continuing to drink or returning to drinking even after I leave probation. And I continue to engage with AA and NA. Actually, NA is what I prefer, as needed in order to address any sort of stressors. I do have a strong support system with my daughter and my father, although they're both out of state. They're both people I can call on for support when I need it.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So, Patrick, would you again describe the options here?
Sure. There's 3 options. It's you can approve her application and she'll get her license. Just deny it. Continue with the denial. Or the third option is you can approve with terms and conditions. There would be an eligibility order is what we would need to enter into, and that would be whatever terms and conditions the board deems appropriate for a particular applicant. Basically, it would be either conditions upon, that they would need to fulfill to have the license issued, or the license would be issued and they'd need to fulfill certain terms or conditions with the license
in some time period.
Yeah, within some time period, right? So,
okay.
Or both, basically.
So if we wanted to say continue with AA or NA for the following year, we could put that in an order?
You could. So you could either approve it and recommend she's do it to make it enforceable. You would basically do an eligibility order that say it's issued. We're issuing it upon completion of all the other it's needed to do through the issuance of the license, but for this particular issue, we won't deny it, and that it'll get issued, and then it would be to comply with it. She'd need to show proof that she's continuing with whatever
AANA for some period of time.
Yeah, for some period of time. Sure.
Okay.
Which could be like an option 3, contingent to. For example, approval contingent to that you are in individual therapy and following AA.
Well, it would be, the license would be issued, and then there would be monitoring for a period of time, and so basically there would be reports given to the the staff to confirm that she's meeting those terms of that order, which would be the terms that you've just discussed.
Okay. All right. So any question? All for the question.
What's your completion date for your probation period if you're not accepted for early termination?
If I'm not accepted for early termination, May 7th, 27.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll call the question. I need a motion for one of the 3 options.
I'll make a motion for the third option. That
With what conditions,
we
Mr.
approve the
Marston?
license I would say with conditions that she attend AA until the time of her dismissal of her probation, which I think she said would be in 27.
So she's up for early. So she got early dismissal.
That could be approved as early as 30 days.
Okay.
So-
And it could be approved within the next 3 days.
So I would say then
Term
for a
only.
minimum of 1 year,
30 days. For a period of 1 year.
for a minimum of 1 year and a,
Okay.
and a maximum of whenever it's dismissed.
Okay.
Is
Mr.
it
Mar-
possible
I mean,
that I
Trevino.
can add to David's motion?
Sure.
And I would, given kind of echoing what David said, sometimes AA may not be enough as you move forward, and whether it's your psychosocial stressors that lead you to personal history, we don't know what leads you to. So my recommendation would be also enroll in individual therapy to learn constructive ways of coping with whatever may trigger these patterns in the past. That would be my motion. Option 3, continue with AA. In addition, consideration or requirement to pursue individual therapy as well.
Okay. Is there a time frame on yours, Mr. Trevino?
And that would be contingent to what, or in conjunction to what your therapist would recommend as well.
Okay. So to do an order, we have to put it into, like, we're going to monitor it for 1 year?
For 1 year.
For 1 year. Okay. All right. So in listening to Miss Kelly, and I have a question before we finalize this motion. You indicated that you like NA better than AA. Is that what you said?
So I did my 12 steps through NA. NA recognizes that alcohol is a drug, and the work was a little more extensive.
Okay. So you would rather attend NA moving forward, or does it matter to you?
It doesn't matter. After the step work, it just
Okay. Okay.
Patrick, was it?
Oh, I was just going to mention, you can also say NA or AA. It
Okay.
doesn't- In the order, you don't have to
You don't
specify
have to
which
specify
one
one.
unless you want to, the board
Okay.
really wants to. What I would suggest is you may ask Mr. Marsden if he'd like to have a friendly amendment to his motion to add that, and then that procedurally, then that'll be his motion, and then you'd need a second for it. So
Mr. Morrison, would you consider the amendment?
I would be honored to consider that amendment.
okay.
Okay. So we have a motion from Mr. Marsden, amended in the friendly manner by Mr. Trevino and accepted by Mr. Marsden, that we approve licensure contingent upon an order that will Miss Kelly to continue attending NA or AA for a period of 1 year, and enroll in individual frame, and Patrick, how often do we put in the order how often she reports back to staff?
I think we would maybe, I mean, typically we would just say quarterly. 'Cause if it's
Okay.
a year, you could require monthly, but I don't know that
I
that's
don't know. Monthly's not necessary. I say quarterly.
typically
Are y'all
it's
okay with quarterly?
I'm okay with
Mr. Marston,
quarterly.
you okay with quarterly? Okay. So with quarterly reporting. So as convoluted as all that sounds, do you understand what we're saying, Miss Kelly?
Yes.
So
yes.
continue
Continue
NAAA for a year with quarterly reporting, enroll in individual counseling with quarterly reports from your counselor, all that submitted to staff.
Yes, sir.
And staff, if this gets voted and approved, staff will send an order for her to sign,
Right.
to review, and then
that you'll
sign.
get. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you don't.
You'll get it all agree to it.
And instructions on how to report. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So there's the motion. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
So we have a second for Mr. Trevino. So now I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your hand, saying aye.
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 Okay, it is unanimous. So, Ms. Kelly, you will, Sarah will talk to you about what happens now.
So following this meeting, you'll receive what transpired today, what just transpired, and also receive a copy of what's called an eligibility order. You'll be able to read through it. You're welcome to advise you on that. If you agree to it, then you'll sign it and return it, and staff will review that and continue with the review of your application, approved of your application for LMSW.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kelly, and thank you, Ms. Allen, for testifying today.
Thank you.
Okay. So next we have
Jimmy McGuire is here.
Jimmy McGuire. Jimmy, you want to come up?
and Mr. Chair, if you'd like, just
Go-
very
go
briefly.
right ahead, Patrick.
Unfortunately, Mr. McGuire has a aggravated assault conviction. It's from 2013, so it is rather old, but unfortunately this implicates Chapter 108, and so that's why staff issued the denial, because Chapter 108 required the denial.
Right. So, Mr. Garrard, do you understand what Chapter 108 does? Is the green light on in front of you?
Okay, now it is.
There
Okay.
you go. All right, we got you.
So I've done some research about it. I've spoken with lawyers. So yes, I think I have a good idea of what that means, but I still wanted to come here today just
Absolutely.
I mean, I put a lot of time into this, so, not coming wouldn't make any sense. So.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead.
I do want to just, thank everybody for letting me come. It's great being here. And just to start off by saying, I have held Texas state licensure since 2018. I'm actively an LCDC. I've been working in the substance abuse population for over 10 years. I'm 32 now. I've been doing this since I've been 19. Currently, I work at Millwood Hospital in Arlington. It's an inpatient psychiatric facility, treats people ages 5 years old all the way up to 105 years old. I'm a clinical liaison there, and before doing that, I'd worked substance abuse counseling for teen boys ages 13 to 17. So, I understand that Section 108 is there, and I'm currently counseling. I'm working with this population. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've had a license for over 7 years, and I need this credential or a master's level credential to get to the next step of my career, for that recognition and stuff. So, I don't know. I would like to be some kind of an exception, or to see if there's anything that I can do, considering, I paid for the graduate school, I passed the exam, I've done everything that's been required. I have letters of recommendation that I've submitted. I've never been in trouble. I've never been terminated. No legal issues, completed probation. I have a non-disclosure on the charge, meaning that if I go apply at an apartment complex, it won't get looked up. I've for that. I don't know what else to do besides be here right now and to share this. So that's what I'm doing today.
So, and I do appreciate you taking time out your about this, and understand, and Patrick can explain it in legal terms if that's necessary. But Chapter 108 precludes us from licensing you.
Yes.
It doesn't even give us the ability to do it. And social work and psychology, is that right? It's us and psychology are the only two professions in BHEC that have this rule. LPC does not, and LMFTs do not. So that's what, when we started today, and you heard Sarah speak about the lawsuit that's going on, that hearing was in December. That lawsuit is, I guess, still moving forward, is what we can say. Even though, what would be the next steps in that lawsuit, Pat?
The 15th Court of Appeals will issue an order on it. So there's a plea to the jurisdiction of whether or not the court they'll issue an order that I imagine either side is going to appeal to the Texas Supreme Court. So, but they haven't issued an order yet. I'm not sure when they'll issue an order, and I imagine that issue will possibly be heard. I don't know if the Texas Supreme Court will accept it or not, but it's likely to get appealed there. So,
Okay.
I don't have a good answer for you because it's going to be litigated for quite some time. What I did, I just sent a note to Mr. Long, was the attorney that reviewed this case, and when you mentioned you said order for this, he wasn't aware of that, and so what I would ask is, do you know if you've submitted that to us? Because that was I'm not sure the answer to that, if that's located, but it's not something that I don't know that was considered initially. So if
it was not considered initially, I had the opportunity to get a non-disclosure ever since like 2018, right? But I chose not to do it until now because it was actually helped my story during job interviews and stuff, just because it's a huge turnaround story, and it was expensive. But I paid the money to get it done, and they filed it with Denton County and everything. So like it was not included the first time. Only upon speaking with legal counsel did I do that, because there was legal counsel that I spoke to that said that in Texas law, like they read this section and they said that if it was said that the non-disclosure should be able to help. I can't quote her what she said, but she said it should be able to help.
Is that the same as expunged?
No, it's technically not the same thing as expunged, but it's similar to. But was it just recently issued? Do you know when you got the order?
It's been filed. Like
it's been filed, but
right.
it hasn't been granted yet.
It takes about 6 weeks to do so, and I did it in just.
Oh,
so we're waiting on it.
Okay,
but
so
it's been paid for, filed. It's not been issued by Denton County yet.
Gotcha. Okay, so it could be granted. If it is granted, I would say we could look at it. And I don't have an answer for you as we sit right now. But until it's granted, we can't necessarily
move forward.
Use it.
Should the board table this matter?
Yeah, that's the board's discretion.
Is April.
For
early April. Okay. So you'd have it by then. You'd have your answer by then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So hearing that, Mr. And this is all technical legal stuff, but I don't know the difference between non-disclosure and expunction, but it's somewhere it's out there in the legal world. But basically it means that we hide our eyes. We don't see that anymore. So that could allow you to move forward, but we have to have that in place to consider it. Does that make sense?
It makes yes, it makes sense.
Okay, so I will ask that we table this until the April meeting. Would that give time for y'all, if he got it and get it back, give Attorney Long time to review it?
Take up the matter at the next board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I would also like to add I mean, I've been told that it holds no weight, but I would say, just for consideration, if it does come down to it, this was, like, in practice, a nonviolent crime, right? Like, there was no violence that actually happened here. This was me signing a plea deal when I was a minor. So,
So this also happened when you were a minor?
I was 17, but in Texas, being
Texas,
17.
yeah, 17 here.
But it did happen, and I just turned, like, I was 17, barely. Like, it happened I think there was more, like, yeah. It changed my life. It saved my life. And I got charged for a violent crime, but I do want to, for what it's worth, it was actually, like, no one got hurt. There was no violence at all.
Well, hopefully that will help with the non-disclosure process going through. So.
Right.
So that we'll table this till April, and as soon as you get an answer from the Denton court, send that in to the.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A motion to
yeah.
table?
Do we have to motion to table, or do I just do it?
I think technically you could, as the chair, you could table it, but it's probably be better to just go ahead and have everybody vote on it.
We'll do it. We'll do it so you don't get any kind of weird trouble in the future. So I would entertain a motion to table Mr. McGuire's licensing issue until the April meeting.
Second.
Who did that? Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Okay. So Jennifer made the motion, so I need a second.
I second.
Have a second, Mr. Vina. All those in favor? Aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
It does happen. So we will take this up in April.
Thank you. And then could you going to be a virtual, like, how is best practice for that?
You can Zoom in if you would like to. You do not have to show up here in person. We do have Zoom availability, and you, just like Sarah showed, you can go to our webpage, and all that information's there.
Thank you.
So if
Brian, I didn't hear anything you said in the last 30 seconds.
Oh, he was asking if he had to come in person. Did you hear that, Ms. Pryor? Okay.
So
I hear it now.
Okay.
question about procedure. If staff receives a non-disclosure order, may staff proceed without bringing it back to the board? Or because the board's been triggered, does the board need to resolve the issue? Because if our attorney had received the non-disclosure prior to staff issuing the staff denial, the attorney could have.
Right. Yeah. That's we wouldn't even bring it to you if it was something that we didn't think we had grounds for denial.
For denial on, yeah.
So, and I think if that's the case, then you may hear from us before the April meeting. And we may not bring it back. Because if there's not grounds to deny, we can't.
We just go ahead and move forward and issue the license and move forward. Okay. All right.
Thank you all so much.
Okay.
I'll send you an email after this meeting to just recap what transpired today and the next steps.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, can I jump in here for a moment?
Absolutely.
We on the Zoom are getting lots of skipping and feedback. I've been working with McGregor. He's attempting to find a solution to y'all's connection. I believe because I am a host and I am still here, McGregor could leave the meeting so that the main function you're on could leave and come back, and that might reset the connection. If it would be appropriate to take a 2-minute pause here to do that, if y'all would like to try it.
Okay. So we will, so those of you that maybe hear me or maybe not, we will take a 2-minute break while we reset this connection.
But for everybody who's
Sarah,
a participant, we stay on. You shouldn't be kicked off. Stay on. It's just the main room that will go out and come back.
I'm getting the one McGregor's on. You're getting your own. Ms. Kelly.
Thanks for everybody's
Well,
patience.
y'all are more than welcome to stay if y'all would like to, but if y'all, I mean, y'all are also free to go at any time. I gotta get back to Dallas. Yeah. Safe travels. Yeah, safe travels and thanks you all. It's colder there than it is here. I checked this morning at my home.
Brenda, do you mean to be unmuted?
And Miss Kelly, I wish you good luck. And good words from Denton to you, Mr. McGuire. Thank you.
Yeah. Always entertaining being on Zoom. Thanks for everybody's patience. We can see you and the recording's back on. So, um,
All right.
waiting.
So do I sound different now, Robert?
It all sounds good right now. We've been able to hear you fine, except it just freezes occasionally. So we won't know for a while if it fixed it, but hopefully it did.
Okay.
Let's hope so.
We need
And I don't have any visual up here. Yes, we're ready to go to. No, we don't have that. No, anybody else on these?
Well,
do we?
yeah, we got 2 more people on 6A.
Okay, we got 2 more. But one, I don't thought we had
I
Hogard.
thought Edward was out. Is he still on?
Hogard.
They're not here, but we
But,
can
I mean-
proceed without them being here.
Yeah, them and,
Oh, we can proceed,
and
okay.
Marjorie Landon. Yeah,
I searched for both names before we went
Yeah.
on break.
yeah, we have
So
to
we
still.
can proceed if you can.
Okay.
Here until McGregor gets you the TV there, because we no longer have anyone in the room,
Yeah.
so we no longer have to project all the board members in the room. Is that
I
correct?
misunderstood. I thought
For
that.
public meetings?
Well, yeah, we just need to be able to see that everybody is on camera.
And all of our attendees can see everyone, because they
Except
can see
us.
See us,
what I
yeah.
can see.
Oh, they
Okay.
can see. Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're good to, we're legally good to go as far as public meeting.
As long as
As long
nobody,
as you're
no
comfortable.
public comes in. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we need to make sure that the board members are visible to the public.
Yep.
Okay, so we've cleared that up.
All right. So we will reconvene the meeting of the Texas State Board of Social Worker Examiners. I have 11:09. So recording is back in process. Yes. All right. So we will continue. We left off on 6A. So we have Edward Hogard. Edward, if you're present, raise your hand.
In this applicant, unfortunately, has a 108 offenses as well. He was robbery with a dangerous weapon many years ago, but unfortunately, that would be covered by weight. So staff was obligated to deny.
Okay. So Mr. Hogard is not here. I don't see any hands raised. I'm going to search his name. All right, not seeing. Okay. We need a motion on Mr. Hogard, who unfortunately falls under the 108, which causes us not to issue the license.
Unfortunately, I motion. Unfortunately, due to 108, we cannot issue Mr. Hogart a license.
Okay, so I have a motion to deny. Need a
I'll second that.
Mr. Marsden, you need to unmute, please. Okay, now you did.
I'll second that.
Okay, now we have the motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand.
Hold on, Mr. Chair.
Hold
Hold
up.
on.
We don't have
All right.
us anymore.
Yeah, we've lost your video. There we are.
We're not on video.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're back. Okay, sorry about that. So we have a motion made by Mr. Trevino. It was seconded by Mr. Marsden for denial of the licensure based on 108 of Edward Hogard. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye, raising your hand.
Aye.
The motion does carry. The license is denied. So next we have Marjorie Landron. Miss Landron's present. Sarah will look while Patrick explains this situation.
So this applicant was convicted of healthcare fraud, and so it appears she was sentenced in July of 2025. She received like it was a felony. I mean, not a felony. I'm sorry. She received a misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor is what it was. Not she's still on probation for the year for that. I will note that under Texas law, if she had been convicted of felony healthcare fraud, there was a requirement that we must revoke anybody that's licensed as that. That anybody that has a license that's convicted of felony healthcare fraud, there's a statutory requirement that we revoke their license. So I'll note that it's not felony. It is misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor, as it's called in Nevada. She does own a company, and the company was convicted. The company pled guilty to felony healthcare fraud, but not her individually. And so the company is refunding I think over $100 because of this incident. So it meets it looked like it's clearly related, and so staff. One of the, we're looking at this thinking what's the best way forward. I mean, one of the issues is she's still on probation for this, and so I don't know. That I don't know that this meets the required like a 108 denial, but it was something that was concerning that we thought, well, it might be worth looking at how we would almost be required. We were just shy of having to be required to revoke her if she was licensed. So it might be good for her to maybe not be on probation anymore before we license her. But again, that's the board's discretion. She does note she's licensed in 3 other states. And she mentioned that those states haven't taken action against her license. But I will say that it wasn't until July that she was sentenced. So I don't know what those other states are going to do, but they are, I would imagine they were waiting for her to be sentenced. They would. I don't know if there was something will come of that from other states, but anyways.
Okay. So Sarah has searched and Miss Landron is not present. Is that correct, Sarah?
Ms. Landron, if you're there in another name or I'm just not able to find it, please use the raised hand feature.
Okay. We don't see Miss Landron present. So, board members, do y'all have any questions that possibly Patrick may be able to answer? The information was included in your packet for review, but any questions that anybody may have?
Patrick, I know that you said she's currently on probation. Do you know when the actual offense occurred?
I think the offense was several years prior. I don't think that she actually when she wasn't charged years after, and then I have to go back and double check that, but I think the offense was a couple years prior to being charged, and then it took a couple years for her to actually be sentenced. So I can skim through the documents real quick to see if I can find it. It looks like the offense dates were late 2018 to late 2020.
2018 to 2020.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing as well.
All right. Any further questions? All right. I would entertain a motion on licensure of Marjorie Land.
Oh, Mr. Again,
yes.
this is since it's not a mandatory denial. There are again the three
options. Yes, yeah. You have
approved, deny,
or approvations.
Yeah.
Do we have any option to deny, but to allow the person to refile after they've completed their probation? Is that an option for us?
Sure.
That's absolutely an option. I mean, we could deny them today and they can reapply it at a later date. So we wouldn't need an order for that. All we would need is a motion to deny, and then they can reapply.
Right. That's always their option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's always the public's or the licensee's option. Prospective licensee.
So if the board intends for the applicant to wait until they've completed their probationary obligations, would there be an instruction to staff to continue until such time that the probation is, or would it just, any time she applied, we'd just go through the same motions?
Yeah, I think the latter.
The latter. Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Need a motion.
I think the fact that she's not here to speak on her defense says we should take the option to deny, especially since she has the option to reapply at a later date.
So is that a motion, Ms. Pryor?
Yes. I was giving an explanation.
Okay.
An
Thank you. So we have a
but
motion.
That's what I'm basing.
Thank you. We have a motion to deny. Need a second.
I second.
Before we move forward to vote, Mr. Spinks would like to speak.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, one thing I would recommend, if you're going to deny until probation, the terms of conditions of probation have been fully fulfilled, you can issue a denial, and we can put in the denial letter that no further applications will be considered until you have successfully completed your terms and conditions of probation, so that we are not she can't just turn right around and reapply constantly after that, because that's really just kind of a waste of time, everybody's time. So honestly, that's what I would recommend if we're going to do that. I think that's probably the right way to go.
So, but we're not
instruct staff
using
to put that statement in the denial.
So, Director Spinks, we're not using the third option though. We're just going to deny, and then that would be a directive to staff, correct?
Yes, but are you wanting her to wait until she has completed the terms and conditions of probation before she reapplies? If she
That
if she
that
so
was
chooses
the
to
that
do.
was the that was the discussion in the motion. Yes.
Okay. Um, okay, then we'll take that and we'll include that language in the denial letter. Sorry, I
Okay.
misunderstood you then.
Okay. So we do have a motion to deny. We have a second. So we're ready for the vote. All those in favor of denial of the license of Marjorie Landron signify by raising your hand, saying aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous, so it is denied. Okay. All righty. That completes agenda item number 6. So we'll now move to agenda item number 7, exam matters, which is related to jurisprudence exam, discussion of the exam content and format. So, Sarah, do you have anything to report on the exam? We did hear from Mr. Trevino earlier that it was dated.
You have a report in your packet. If you have any questions, I'll try to address those now.
Oh, no, that's fine. We do need to take action on this one, so we need a motion to approve agenda item number 7 related to the jurisprudence exam.
I motion to approve agenda item number 7.
So we have a motion from Mr. Trevino. Need a second?
I will second that.
Have a second from Mr. Marsden. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand, saying aye.
Aye.
Motion does carry. So agenda item number 8, enforcement actions. So 8A is the board review of possible action regarding contested SOA cases, State Office of Administrative Hearings. This one is in the matter of Yolanda Pone. I will turn it over to Patrick for that.
Yes, Ms. Pone had her clinical privileges revoked by the Defense Health Agency and failed to report that to the council. We initiated a complaint in action. This was filed at SOA. She was given notice of the proceedings. She failed to appear, and the SOA administrative law judge issued a default and remand back to the agency. So in your packet is all the SOA record as well as the proposed order and the notice that we gave her of this meeting that we would be discussing that, as well as the later discussed at the council. So in your packet is a proposed order that for the board's consideration and recommendation to the council to issue the final order in this matter. And we're recommending, since she had her privileges revoked, we're recommending the revocation of her Texas license.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. So I need a motion to
and sorry, thank you. Thank you very much. I have it in front of me and I missed it. Chair Brumley, you were the member of the ISC, so you should recuse from the vote for this matter.
Absolutely. So we have a motion. We need a motion on this to move this up to the council meeting, which will be held next month in February for final finding on the revocation of the licensure of Yolanda Pone. So I need a motion.
I motion for the final provocation of licensure for Ms.
Have
Pone.
a motion from Mr. Trevino. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Have a second from Ms. Pryor.
And before we take that vote, did we double check to make sure she's not in attendance? I haven't.
Oh, I
she
did
haven't-
not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll look for that.
Pone.
YALONDA.
If Miss Pone is in attendance, you could raise your
You raise your hand. We don't see her present. The Zoom side of the world. So we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor. I'm sorry. Oh, I was getting feedback. I don't know what's happening.
Who was that?
So we'll take the vote. All those in favor I am recusing, so we have Ms. De La Pena.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion does carry. All right, we'll move to agenda item, where are we? B, board review action regarding Patrick.
There's several executed orders in the packet, I believe about 15. They've already been executed, so there's no act there for you what was staff has done.
Right. Does any of the board members have any questions regarding those orders that are included in your packets? All right. Sarah.
And there are no orders for the board to execute. So B is done.
All right. Have a question for Mr. Trevino or comment?
Going to make a comment based on what I reviewed. I think it's extremely important for us as licensees to make sure that you understand when your renewal date is and make sure that you renew prior to that date.
Absolutely. All right. We don't need to vote on those, do we? Because those are all taken care of. All right. So we'll move to so adoption of rules A1 through, get to the right page, 17. On Mr. Romig to discuss some of these. Robert, are you out there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a set of rules that was a package brought to the board a couple of meetings ago that has been crafted to really clarify a few substantive improvements to how licensees work together, as well as supervision rules about, supervisees informing their supervisors if there's a complaint against them and sharing information with each other, but mostly a non-substantive sort of recodification of the rules to make them a little cleaner and clearer. You have in your packet the public comments that we have received about these rule changes, as well as the final proposed adopted rules. We did take the comments that we received and we made some tweaks to the rules. You have those in your packet and they have highlights to see. I would say all of the tweaks do not change the meaning or substance of the rules, but are just making sure the words are very clear. And so I'm happy to answer any questions about any of those changes, if you have any.
Robert, would you take just a moment? I saw public comment and discussion about the rules related to the informal settlement conference process.
Right. And that is a rule that is being proposed, actually a council rule. So it's not one that y'all need to vote on. But we did get a lot of comments about that rule. It will be at the council meeting, and so we'll have a more full discussion there. But the rule proposal that staff has brought is to update the rule language. Right now, there has always been and continues to be a mix of ISCs where there is a board member present and ISCs that are handled just by staff. And that is not changing. So that is what's currently happening, and that is what the rule proposal would do. But essentially, it's just reframing the rule in a positive expression rather than a negative expression. Right now, it essentially makes it sound like there must be a board member present unless we find there is not need for expert testimony. And it's a little bit confusing because what if you find out later there is expert testimony, and what if we do have an expert there? Do we still need a board member? And so staff is just recommending to change that into a more positive framing, that staff will seek, can get a board member if there is expertise needed from a board member. But again, that's not something y'all have to vote on now, and really it would not change the status quo of sometimes there are ISCs with staff, sometimes there are ISCs with board members.
And Robert, from my understanding, I've been since I was appointed to the board back in 2016 or 17. I've been part of the group that does the ISCs, the old way, the new way, the in-between way, every way we've done it since then. And primarily things that Mr. Trevino brought up a good point about folks who need to pay attention to their renewal date. That in and of itself doesn't require a social worker to determine if another social worker violated something or not. That's a cut and dry, by the book rule that there's no practice implications that would be discussed in that hearing. It would be, you didn't do it on time. Those are the ones you're talking about staff would continue to handle.
Correct. There's any number of administrative rules that could be impacted about renewals or records being provided upon request, things that keeping informed consent documents that may be something you are doing in your practice, but it doesn't take any practice clinical judgment to weigh in on whether that was done or not done correctly. Anything that requires clinical judgment, professional judgment, we're going to ask a board member to be present at the ISC.
Okay.
And another thing, just to make sure the board is clear and everyone else watching and listening is clear, the informal settlement conference is just that. It's an informal conference to see if we can resolve the issue without moving forward. The whoever is present, whether a board member or staff, they are not sitting in judgment. They are not passing judgment on the case. They are not imposing anything against the will of the licensee. There is still the opportunity for a formal hearing with due process and an administrative judge. That nothing's changing that.
Absolutely. Okay. And over the past, I guess 3 or 4 months, I've been, well, a lot of years, I've been the professional member on most of those, but Mr. Marsden has set in last time in December and participated with us. I talked to Mr. Trevino this morning, and he is willing. So we have members, professional members on the board who are willing to participate and provide insight as experts as needed on any of those. Saying that so that the licensees out there understand that we are able and willing to participate in these to make sure that the profession is represented for issues that come up related to licensees. So, all right. So on that one, but any of the other 1 through 17 there, does any of the board members have any questions on any of those? And we will take those as a group after we have discussed if there's discussion needed.
Brian, I just had a quick little bit of discussion based on the public comment, the written comment that was submitted. Do we feel like that was well understood, and that those concerns, particularly regarding the distinction maybe between a supervision agreement and a plan, were clearly understood for future revisions in the documentation?
We considered those comments, and the rule committee considered those. Ultimately, what we are requesting licensees to provide to us, we are calling a supervision plan. It is really the minimum amount of information that we are requiring. So it is more than just an agreement. So we did decline to change the name to the agreement as they suggested. But it in no means is meant to be the comprehensive plan. And certainly we would expect that for their own records and their own development, supervisors would have more information about their supervision. We are just asking for the sort of minimum regulatory information to show there is a plan for ongoing supervision. But we will certainly continue to look at that moving forward if any clarification needs to happen.
Let me ask this too, then, and I think this would be helpful for supervisors to have a good understanding of. Would it be acceptable to take the information from that bare bones, that minimum standard plan, and incorporate it into a larger supervision agreement? Would that still be acceptable to the board?
Absolutely. Supervisors are not required to use our template form. They just need to have the information we need. They are welcome to use their own format to do so and to include more information than we've requested. That's perfectly allowed.
Thank you very much, Robert.
All right. Thank you, David, for that question. Anybody else have any questions, concerns on the info? pages of stuff that we had this time, but I know it's a lot to go through, but if y'all have taken the time to do that, if you have questions now, though, before we call for the vote. All right. So we have, and all right, let me get this straight now in my mind. So we are adopting these today, and they will then go to BHEC in February, or do they have to go back to the register? They go straight to BHEC.
These have already been published. It'll go, if approved, they'll go to the council for final adoption.
Final adoption in February.
Then they will be published in the register as adopted, but no longer for public comment. They're final. They're done at that point.
And then they will then be put into our consolidated rule book after that time period. Okay. All right. So we have through 17 that we take as a group. So I would need a motion to approve the adopt rules provided, rules 1 through 17.
And for clarity, just for someone has a mic on. Okay.
Oh, that was Robert. Okay.
For clarity, the packets were posted for the public before the public comment period ended.
Correct.
And in the interim, staff gathered additional public comment, and staff has provided to the board members additional technical corrections. So if you're in the public and you've been reading what's in those rules, if the social board votes today to recommend those to the council, they will not exactly match what you had posted in your public materials.
They will not technically match, but the content or the gist of the rule will remain the same. Yes.
Substance will match, but word by word will not match. So be sure to look at, if you're looking at it, be sure to review the February materials that are published for the council meeting. If you're interested word by word.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification, Sarah. All right. So entertain a motion.
I motion to adopt the rules. Approval.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Trevino to adopt the rules as provided to the board. Need a second?
I'll second that. This is Corey de la Peña.
All right. Got a second from member de la Peña. So all those by raising your hand saying aye.
Aye.
It does carry. So the rules will be moved to BHEC's February meeting. All right. We don't have any for this. So
Strangely, we have none.
Yeah, good. Well, we had a lot. Now we have none. So good. All right. Number 10, agenda item number 10, discussion possible action concerning the July 11th letter from Council Chair John Belemowitz to board members calling for insights and suggestions to enhance disaster response. So, Sarah, do you have any info on that you want to provide?
I've received no additional input from the public or from board members regarding ideas on enhancing disaster response. But I did note earlier in my report that Director Spinks did send an email update calling for advanced registration for disaster responses. And I just want to share with you our website from the homepage. If you look at the gray bar on the left-hand side, we do have a disaster preparedness page. And on that page, you can look at organizations with whom you may register so that your professional expertise and quickly implemented at the time that a disaster strikes. After a disaster strikes is not the best time to then volunteer your services. Sometimes, some of the reports that we heard about the recent flooding in July was that the community was overwhelmed and not benefited by the outpouring of volunteers who showed up and took up more more resources for food and shelter and that kind of thing. So register early, register now if that's where your heart leads you and that's where you want to lend your expertise, and then follow up with these organizations as a disaster strikes. Thank you very much.
Right. And on that point, we had a presentation that, and I'm sure you can go back and look, and I don't remember what meeting it was, but the guy that came, I guess it was a BHEC meeting when we had that disaster response, or the disaster from the state that came and talked to us about how that project, or how that program works. So signing up, I mean, the main thing is, if you want to be involved, reach out, sign up, get your name out there. And if you locally have a Red Cross, go meet those folks, talk to them. Any of those organizations are willing for you to sign up, and they will contact you quickly. They keep that delineated by zip code, by all kinds of ways, and they can call you and reach out to you. So we don't need to really take any action on this. This is just information. So does anybody have any questions or input about disaster response? All right. We'll move to agenda item 11, possible action concerning December 8th, ketamine-assisted therapy town hall discussion, patient safety and professional standards. I was out of town. I wanted to hear that one, but I couldn't. I was traveling and didn't get to go to that one. So, Sarah, do you have an update on the report out from that meeting?
Since it was a town hall, it was mostly a listening session for staff. I did provide a report about attendance and registrations and things like that in your packet, but that's all the information that I have at this time.
Okay. I will add to that back in November, I guess, I don't know, I was at a meeting in Indianapolis, and there was lots of discussion nationwide about ketamine therapy and some other, and I can't ever say the word, whatever mushrooms are, psilocybin, whatever that word is, therapy that involve, where social workers are involving themselves in practices that use these therapies. And there's discussion about whether your insurance companies are going to cover you if you're doing that. So there's lots of gray area here, folks. So my suggestion is you protect yourself. If you're involved in one of these areas, seek supervision, contact your insurance provider, see if you're covered. I don't want folks getting in a lot of trouble for doing something that they see as helping that may or may not lead to some negative outcome for the licensee. So just protect yourself. And we don't make recommendations on how you should practice, but legally, I don't guess we also don't make legal outcomes here, do we, Patrick, about what you can and can't do legally? I mean, that's the state of Texas does that in law.
Yeah, we would have to follow the statutory framework of what we can within our guardrails of what we can and cannot regulate. I think what I might add to this is what was kind of brought up and discussed at the town hall is the Texas. This will implicate a lot of what the Texas Medical Board does, and they've issued public statements that they are looking into the ketamine issues in ketamine assisted therapy, and they are potentially undergoing rule writing for this particular area. So we are aware of it. We're going to watch it.
Okay.
And obviously, none of our licensees can prescribe. Right. But it's a area where there may be some overlap, and so we're going to be conscious of what they're doing, and then see if there's anything that we need to do along with that, or in combination with it. But I think right now we're still at the fact gathering stage, and still kind of keeping our eyes open to this issue, because it is something a lot of people are interested in. And it may need more regulation, but we don't have answers yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and this is something that's going to continue to to be ongoing, and I'm sure there will be other things. Oh, something happened.
I can't see the boardroom.
It's right there. Yeah, it's there. It's under the McGregor one. Yeah. We're gonna make it through. We're almost there. So, any board members have any input on ketamine or anything else that you would like to add before we move on? All right. So we will go to agenda item 12, recommendations for agenda items for next meetings. So I don't really have any. Mr. Trevino, any board members, y'all have anything that y'all would like to see on the agenda for next time for the April meeting? All right. Well, hearing none, seeing none, I will ask that take a motion to adjourn.
No one wants to leave.
I motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you, Ms. De La Pena. And I have a second from Mr. Trevino. So you can leave the meeting, Zoom away, whatever you need to do. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all.
All right.